What's up, homies? My name is Matt Lurker. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here though, welcome. Thanks for coming. I feel like I've been super blessed career-wise, especially for someone my age. And I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on the subject, but today I'm sharing the secrets to help you nail your job interview. Unless you already own your own business, then at some point you're going to have to convince someone else to give you a job at their company. And while I personally love the path of entrepreneurship, I recognize that for most people, that's just not going to happen. Most people don't want that, or if they do want that, they may not realize what it actually takes to get there. And so you're going to have a job interview at some point. And maybe you've got a job interview coming, or maybe you just want to stay ready for your next one. Either way, smash that like button, go get your popcorn, pause the video, come on back, and let's get started. Hey, so tip number one is to research the company. And I know you know this, and you know that you know this. So why aren't you doing it? The easiest way to lose your chance at getting a new job is to show them that you can't be bothered to just take the time to look up what products or services they actually offer. As a prospective employee, you should know what their social media looks like, you should know what products they offer, or if they're offering new products, getting into new markets, or if they've been in the news lately. It looks super bad on your part if you're not prepared. Even if you did everything else right, you're probably not going to get the job because you're showing them that you couldn't be bothered to do 30 minutes of internet research that a toddler could do, honestly. It's not that hard to look up a company and see what they do. Even if you're the absolute perfect candidate for that job, you don't get a second chance at a first impression. So make sure that they can tell that you're invested in that role. Tip number two is to prepare an elevator pitch for yourself. If you haven't heard of this already, the idea here is that you may be in an elevator and meet someone who could provide a great opportunity for you. And you have to pitch them the idea of you being a great asset to them in like 30 seconds. And it's kind of a broad idea, but the main point is that you need to be prepared to sell yourself in 30 seconds. Why do they need to hire you? What are your top qualities? And why should you work there? There's plenty of resources out there to help you get an idea or get started in making your elevator pitch. And that's not the main point of this video. So I'll just drop some links in the description to some resources to help you get started on that. And you may be thinking that this is pointless because you'll probably have a full 30 to 45 minutes to sell yourself throughout the entire interview. But that's where you're wrong. In fact, according to the study that was done by Monster, which is a service that helps employers and prospective employees in their job search, that study showed that most employers have already made a decision about you within 6 minutes of meeting you. And I know that this doesn't sound fair. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but it doesn't matter. The reality is that you only have 6 minutes to sell yourself. And really even less than that, because some people make a decision within like 90 seconds. Lucky for you though, nearly every interviewer will subtly give you the perfect opportunity to share with them your thoughtfully prepared elevator pitch. Sometimes they may not even realize what they're doing. But here's the secret. You will almost always be asked the question, "So Matt, tell me a little bit about yourself." And don't get me wrong, I used to hate that question until I realized that they were handing me a gold mine of an opportunity to take control of the interview and how it was going to go. This is when you give them your elevator pitch. And they're expecting a solid answer here, so you can take up to 90 seconds rather than just the typical 30. But don't take any more than that. Just 30 to 90 seconds here. They will almost certainly ask you this question, and this is your chance to briefly share a few points from your resume or share an experience about how you grew or persevered through something that gave you the passion to do data visualization or healthcare administration, whatever it is you're trying to get a job for. Because if they're a good interviewer, then you'll have more time later to go through your technical skills and really show them what you know. But right now is your opportunity to sell yourself. And I get it. It can be hard to put everything you want to share into just a few sentences that you say in 30 to 90 seconds. But try to throw in a little bit of personality, a little bit of your school or work experience, and show a little bit about what makes you passionate about what you do. Finally, write it all down, recite versions of it to yourself in the mirror so that when you actually give it, it'll sound perfect, polished, and natural. Tip number three is a little similar to the last one, but you need to write down answers to common questions that you should be expecting. I feel like most interviewers are generally good at reading people, and if they can tell that you're super nervous or you can't collect your thoughts to form a coherent answer to their questions, then they're going to be put off by you being a weirdo. Just relax. And to help yourself do that, write down some of the answers to common questions that you can expect. You can count on there being questions that you'll have to think about in the moment, but you'll also be expected to know certain things right off the top of your head. Everyone will want to know about how you handle conflicts in the workplace and also how you may have improved a process at a previous job. So plan on that. The goal here is just to feel calm and collected, because you also want the interviewer to feel like you're calm and have a handle on things. Tip number 4 is to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, what are you doing? JK. Number 4 is to make an impression on the staff. Ideally, you have someone on the inside who's vouching for you, who's telling the interviewer, yeah, you should hire that guy, you should hire that girl. They're great. I know them, I've worked with them before, or I've seen what they do, I know they'd be great. Most of the time, we don't have that. We're just applying willy-nilly, we're throwing our resumes out there, and just hoping that something lands. But this is where the staff comes in. Even if you don't already have someone in your corner rooting for you at the company, it never hurts to make some small talk with the receptionist or talk to someone else in the lobby who works there. As long as you're not being a nuisance when they're trying to get some work done, then this helps you appear friendly. And you are friendly, right? Be someone who's easy to talk to and enjoyable to talk to, and this should be an easy win early on. And this can be useful in your interview as well, because you can bring up things from your conversation with a staff member to make it seem like you're on the ball, because you are. Even if nothing usable comes from your conversation with the receptionist though, it'll never hurt you to make someone else feel respected and important. That goes a long way in my book. I know it sounds similar to an earlier tip, but tip number 5 is your body language. It is so important, even on a Zoom meeting, to make sure that you bring a positive energy into the meeting right away. Everyone should feel comfortable, relaxed, and like they're talking to a friend. After all, that person could become your friend if you get the job there. And even though you may not feel 100% confident, make a conscious decision to sit up straight, smile, and give a surprised look if they share something about the company that maybe you didn't know. Not something that you should have known, but maybe some insider information that just they know from their job. You want to make sure that they know that you're listening, and you can do that through your body language. Switch it up by changing from natural, comfortable positions that still show that your focus is on them, but that you're just moving around, you're comfortable and relaxed. Because you don't want to look stiff as a board, otherwise they're going to get uncomfortable just talking to you. Positive, happy energy makes everyone feel comfortable as long as it's natural. And it helps to just be a positive person in general, but there's only so much you can change about yourself or do to prepare for an interview. So just do what you can to be happy, bring a positive energy, bring an optimistic attitude to that interview. This is maybe the most important thing on this list, so listen closely. Throughout the interview, and especially at the end, ask questions. Here's the deal. Even if you think you know everything you need to about the job, there's something more that you can learn, and asking questions shows that you're engaged, that you care, and that you're invested in learning more about the position. And here's another secret. This also tricks the interviewer into thinking that the interview went better than it actually did, because it's human nature to want to talk about ourselves. And so when the tables are turned and we get to do the talking, especially when someone else is asking questions about us, we feel important, we feel valued, and that makes us think that the interview went well, even if you didn't actually do that great. If they get to do some talking because of good questions that you asked, then they're going to feel after the fact like it went really well. I know it may sound weird, but I promise it works. It's science, so just look it up. Lastly, tip number 7 is to follow up. Depending on which industry you're in, this could mean different things for you, but most of us are probably on LinkedIn, so if that's you, I'll talk about what to do. So you'll have your interview, you'll crush it, and then later that day, you'll send the person who interviewed you a personalized connection invitation on LinkedIn. There's a few very important caveats here though. First, make sure to wait a few hours before actually sending your invite. Here's why. This will give them time to forget your interview, but then hours later, being forced to remember that as they get that connection invite from you will help their brain solidify the connections inside of itself that will force them to remember you longer. Learning something, spending time away from it, and then learning it again solidifies the connections within the brain. And so I know I'm getting a little technical here, but this will make them remember you. Second, when you send your connection invite, make sure to write a personalized message. And in that message, thank them for their time, and then reference something that they said in the interview. This will let them know that you were listening, that you took the time to remember it, and they will remember you better. And guys, those are my top tips for nailing your job interview. And really, I'd like this video to be just a resource for people. So feel free to share it with someone who has a job interview coming up. And if I missed anything that you feel like is important in preparing for an interview, let me know in the comments and we can just keep the knowledge flowing. As always, I love you guys and I'll catch you next time.